In the 1920s, New York's competition for building the tallest tower in the world escalated, and it was in this fervor that one of the most notable landmarks appeared, the Chrysler Building. This building stood out for its height, but it also housed a little-known secret, an exclusive club at the very top of the tower. This club was the setting for gatherings of society's most influential people, from business magnates to Hollywood stars. So join me to discover what remains, as today we explore the history of the Chrysler Building. I'm your host, Ryan Socash, and you're watching It's History. At the beginning of the 20th century, New York was rapidly growing, and in the process became one of the most important cities in the entire world. Between 1929 and 1931, the city's skyline changed drastically due to the fierce competition to build the world's tallest building. The construction of the Chrysler Building was emblematic of this intense competition for architectural supremacy. This phenomenon, known as the race to the top, was not merely a quest for height, but also a demonstration of modern engineering and corporate power. So in the late 1920s, Walter Chrysler, the founder of Chrysler Corporation, commissioned architect William Van Alen to design a building that encapsulated his company's ethos and technological innovation. Located on Manhattan's East Side at the intersection of 42nd Street and Lexington Avenue, this structure was intended to be a functional office space, surpassing existing skyscrapers in height and design. But just who was Walter Chrysler, and why did he have the ambition to build this skyscraper? Let's have a look. Walter Chrysler, born on April 2nd, 1875 in Kansas, emerged as a critical figure in the American automotive industry, but his career actually began with an apprenticeship in a railway workshop where he gained experience in mechanical engineering. This knowledge allowed him to rise quickly through various railway companies before joining the Buick Motor Company in 1912, where he implemented innovative strategies that led him to become president by 1916. However, Walter Chrysler's defining achievement came in 1925 when he founded the Chrysler Corporation. He envisioned producing innovative, high-quality automobiles accessible to the average consumer. Under his leadership, the company introduced revolutionary models like the Chrysler 6, a car that set new standards. His commitment to quality propelled Chrysler to become one of the big three automakers in the United States. Thus, the decision to construct the Chrysler Building is an example of a broader trend where an extraordinary architectural project could represent ambition and corporate growth. During its construction, the Chrysler Building was embroiled in a rivalry with the Bank of Manhattan Trust Building, known these days as Trump Building, which was also competing to become the world's tallest structure. To ensure his project emerged victorious, Chrysler and Van Alen employed a strategy of secrecy, especially regarding the building's iconic spire. This stainless steel spire was assembled inside the building and then hoisted into place in just 90 minutes on October 23rd, 1929, a maneuver that astonished the public and secured the Chrysler Building's place as the tallest building in the world that day. However, this achievement was soon challenged by the ambitions behind the Empire State Building. When completed in 1931, it reached a height of 1,454 feet. Even so, despite the advancements in skyscraper construction and architecture, something much darker and more dramatic was unfolding in the economy at the time. During the Roaring '20s, the United States economy experienced rapid growth fueled by technological advance, industrial expansion, and increasing consumerism. However, this unchecked optimism was also driven by rampant speculation in the stock market, where investors bought stocks on margin, inflating prices to unsustainable levels. Despite signs of strain, the Federal Reserve kept interest rates low, further encouraging speculation. But in 1928, the Fed shifted its monetary policy by tightening credit conditions, which ultimately led to a decrease in investment and consumer spending. These changes and structural weaknesses in the economy laid the groundwork for collapse. And so it was, on October the 24th, 1929, known as Black Thursday, a massive stock sell-off began, triggering panic that would boil over by October the 29th, Black Tuesday, with market collapse. This sudden plunge devastated millions of investors, leading to the destabilization of banks and ultimately the onset of the Great Depression. Despite this grim period, Walter Chrysler pressed on with the building's construction. On one hand, economic depression, and on the other, placing complete trust in modernization. During its construction, the Chrysler Building employed cutting-edge technologies and materials. The building's framework was made of steel, allowing for shift with efficient construction. Workers assembled the steel skeleton at a remarkable pace, completing it floor by floor. This method minimized construction time and cost. The building's facade is enriched with decorative elements, evoking both the automotive industry and Art Deco aesthetics. Among these are the iconic steel eagles, inspired by ornaments from Chrysler car hoods, as motifs of radiator caps are integrated into the brickwork. These details underscore the building's connection to Walter's legacy and the era's fascination with speed and machinery. One of the Chrysler Building's most distinctive features is its crown, consisting of 7 radiating stepped arches clad in stainless steel. This progressive use of materials provided both a striking visual impact as well as long-term durability to the weather elements. The interior of the Chrysler Building continues to exemplify Art Deco luxury with its richly decorated lobby, featuring Moroccan marble and custom-designed lighting fixtures. The elevators in particular are a testament to the craftsmanship of the time, with intricate inlays and geometric designs capturing the spirit of the 20s. The office spaces within the Chrysler Building were designed to maximize natural light and provide expansive city views. Large windows and high ceilings contribute to a sense of spaciousness, a significant departure from the more confined spaces of earlier skyscrapers. Construction was completed on May 27, 1930, with a total height of 1,030 feet and a price tag of $20 million. Its 77 floors are equipped with 32 elevators, offering efficient vertical mobility to its occupants and visitors. The Chrysler Building had a strong start upon opening in 1930, with an occupancy rate of over 70%, including companies like Western Union and, of course, Chrysler, which already had acquired the lease before construction began. In summary, the construction of the Chrysler Building was a remarkable feat of engineering and design, embodying the technological advancements and artistic aspirations of the day. When the tower was planned, an observation deck with telescopes and cafeterias at the top was mentioned. In fact, it was expected to generate around $100,000 a year. Although the observatory was built, something else was added: the Cloud Club, a private lunch club on floors 66, 67, and 68, which became the highest club in the world. Initially intended to be a gathering place for architects and engineers, the Cloud Club soon became an exclusive social center for New York's elite, and the membership fee could reach up to $300 a year. The club opened in July of 1930 with a capacity for only 80 people in its main dining room. This club's history is filled with glamour and intrigue, with tales of luxurious parties, celebrity sightings, and clandestine meetings, adding mystery to its halls. However, after several later changes in ownership, the Cloud Club has been reborn on floors 61 and 62 of the tower. This exclusive 2-level space, open to the public, offers daily lunches, evening cocktails, private dinners, conference spaces, and events, all with breathtaking city skyline views. The Chrysler Building has been a recurring set in several films, a fact that has led to its prominence on the global stage. However, despite appearing in many movies, the Chrysler Building rarely takes center stage. For example, it was initially intended to be part of the 1933 film King Kong. However, it only makes a brief appearance at the end because, somewhat ironically, the producers opted for the Empire State Building to take center stage. Beyond that, it's often depicted in the context of apocalyptic events. In movies like Independence Day, Armageddon, Deep Impact, Godzilla, and the list goes on and on. As a happy side effect of this media prominence, the building has taken a grand status in the hearts and minds of Americans. As is such, it became an official National Historic Landmark of the United States on December the 8th, 1976. Yet, despite its iconic presence on the screen and the national recognition it has received, the building has faced a series of challenges from the mid-20th century to the present day, leading to its slow decline. After Walter Chrysler's death in 1940, ownership of the Chrysler Building passed to the Chrysler family, who managed it under the care of the W.P. Chrysler Building Corporation. In 1944, the corporation actually unveiled plans to construct a 38-story annex east of the building. However, by 1949, it was downsized to a 32-story structure. This new building features facades similar to that of the original Chrysler Building. Construction began in 1950 and was completed in 1952, including construction on a sky bridge connecting both structures. With that in mind, the decline of the Chrysler Building began with the family's 1953 sale of the tower. The pivotal moment started a series of challenges and changes that gradually diminished the building's prominence on the New York City skyline. So the family sold the building for $18 million. And from there, the ownership was swapped several more times. And it was during this period of transition that the Chrysler Building experienced neglect and deterioration. Maintenance issues and rising operational costs posed a significant financial burden for subsequent owners. As a result, the building struggled to attract tenants and maintain its status as a premium office destination. We should also add that the rise of newer, more modern skyscrapers also contributed to the decline of the Chrysler Building. While it remained an architectural icon, its outdated infrastructure and limited amenities made it less appealing to potential tenants seeking state-of-the-art facilities. However, in recent years, efforts have been made to revitalize its image and address its structural and operational challenges. Changes in ownership and renovation projects have sought to modernize the building's infrastructure while preserving its historic character. These efforts have included updates to mechanical systems, restoration of Art Deco elements, and improvements in tenant amenities. While efforts are being made to restore and revitalize the Chrysler Building, its future remains to be determined, and this is due to the conflict between modernization and preservation. Despite not being the tallest building in the world or even in New York, the building does remain a beloved landmark on the Manhattan skyline. Its enduring popularity demonstrates the impact that great architecture can have in captivating the imagination of people across generations worldwide. And as a final thought, I'm grateful to New York for keeping this building around, as stories like this often don't end too well. For example, Chicago actually raised their very first skyscraper. And if you'd like to learn more about that story, click right here. Otherwise, until next time, I'm Ryan Socash, signing off.